Well, I thought in a lot of ways we did what we needed to do to win the game. We only had 13 turnovers to their 16, and we shot the ball well enough, and we held them to a few fewer threes than they got us the last time. But the offensive rebounding was the I think the difference and probably the biggest disappointment that for them to get 16 offensive boards to our only 20 defensive boards, I thought was the difference. And we talked a lot about it during the timeouts, as these guys will probably tell you. But I thought we showed toughness in a lot of areas, but in that particular area, we weren't good enough to win. And when you're on your home court, that part's probably a little bit more disappointing than because I felt like the energy in the gym was really good, and you'd hope that it would carry through to that kind of those kind of effort. Rebounding, defensive rebounding, it's a concentration thing, but it's an effort thing, and we weren't good enough there. But I thought MC played really well. I thought Lex played really well. We had offensively, we did a lot of good things. We just didn't finish possessions, and when you play a really good team, which DePaul is, you got to play really well to win. And I thought we played well, but not well enough.
Asking director questions with student athletes.
Thanks for you guys. How big of a difference were those 50-50 plays that seemed like they kind of had an edge in that area tonight, and ultimately, like your coach said, was a difference?
Yeah, I think they beat us in too many of those, and especially against them. I mean, if they're getting more of the 50-50 balls, they get to run more, they get to control more of the tempo of the game. And so I think, first of all, just not having the possession, but then kind of losing a little bit of control of the pace, I think that hurt us.
Obviously, you guys made a lot of runs on them in the second half, and they were able to counter everything you did until the very end. Does that start to wear on a team when you just can't get back over that hump, maybe getting closer than 5 or 6?
I mean, it's difficult, yeah, but like you said, rebounding, that's something we could have controlled, and that's something that probably could have helped us probably get through those runs and those different things you're talking about. So, yeah, it's tough, but I think if we probably would have rebounded a little bit better, it wouldn't have been as tough.
You see, when Brittany gets going like that, I mean, what's it like from an opposing standpoint?
She's a good player, so one person's not going to be able to stop her. So as a team, I think we needed to, show a little bit more urgency to kind of stop her and maybe make some other kids beat us.
From your guys' vantage point on the last possession, when you forced I think Lex had to close out on the last 3, and they got the offensive rebound. What did you guys see on that play, and kind of how it broke down?
I didn't box out on that play. It's just, I don't know. When the shot goes up, you just can't stare and look at the ball. You got to go get in there, rebound, hit a body or something, They got the offensive rebound, and it kind of hurt us a little bit. Able to cut up some more time.
Take 2 more questions from student athletes.
I guess when you let that go, MC, you did the last shot. Just talk a little bit about that.
It was online. You're taking a floater from 30 feet. It's lucky if it goes down.
I'm sure you're not big into either one of you are big into moral victories, but to get beat by this team by 25 points on their home court and then, almost pull off one last night. What's that show you about the progress you guys have made?
It's a good sign, to not get beat by that much, but I guess it keeps you hungry. Helps you to go back and look at some things before the end of the season comes to an end, I guess. So just Yeah, it's good that we didn't get beat by a lot, but that's a game we probably could have. If we did a little things differently, we probably could have won that game. So it's tough.
One more from student athletes. All right. Thanks,
Thank
guys.
you.
Thanks, you guys.
Thanks.
Just from a coaching standpoint, when Franco's got it going like that, what do you do? What do you say to kind of try to slow it down or stop it? Is there anything?
Well, we talked about her, and certainly, you know, there were several. You know, she's a really good player and can score in different ways, and that's a big part of it. But we switched a lot of screens, and our plan was to switch a lot of screens, but we didn't. We didn't execute screen switches in some cases where she got open threes, and. Then the other thing that we had talked about a lot is we needed to push her to the closest, player, our closest defender, and we talk about taking away her outside hand, where if there's more help, closer help and more help on this hand, we got to push her that way. And, I would say our attention to detail in those two areas was just not good enough. I mean, and when she gets open shots, in easier shots, she's going to make harder shots because she's that good, and she can make hard shots. She can, she sidestepped Jade, and Jade falls down, and she, hits an open three. I mean, so she's, and the other thing was we just didn't, there were times where we could have stepped over and taken a charge, and we didn't. So I mean, I'm disappointed because she went from 4 points, with 7 minutes to go in the half, to 20 at the end of the half, and. We just didn't fight hard enough, but it wasn't one person because our philosophy was to switch a lot of screens, and so it was that we didn't appropriately switch a lot of times, and and then I'll be interested to see how many of those threes were off second opportunities. I mean, the 16-0 boards is just the thing that really is gonna. I think eat at me and hopefully eat at the team the most because I just, they're a good offensive rebounding team, but we're, going into the game, I said we were going into the game, we were tied for first in the league. We were getting over 72% of our defensive rebounds, which, I think is pretty good. I think we were tied with St. John's. And, tonight they got 16 rebounds to our 20 defensive rebounds. That's, not much over 50. And if we could have just taken away, 3 to 6 second shots, I mean, we'd probably win the game. And that's frustrating because I just think, like with the energy in the building and you'd think you would be the team that's making those, plays, and by and large we weren't. I thought we did a good job on the offensive glass. We had 12, which is good for as well as we shot it, but not good enough on the other end. But a lot of things. I think as a coach, you beat yourself up a little when their best player gets 33 for sure. But they're also, she had either 7 or 9 in their last game, and they beat St. John's by 25 or 26, or 27. So they're balanced enough. They got enough good players that if it weren't her, it might have been somebody else. But and that's part of your game plan. It's like, okay, you tell your kids we got to pay a lot of attention to Harenko, but they got enough other good players, and they space you and spread you out enough that you can't devote too much attention to her because they got a lot of, they got 4 of their 5 starters average 12 or more a game, so there's not a lot to pick and choose with your help.
You look at your opposite numbers, you're not going to be terribly disappointed, but their pressure, I mean, they almost forced 3 10-second calls, and it seems like you'd rather have you get the ball across half court, you only have 27 seconds left to operate. I guess,
Yeah.
what did you think their defensive pressure was able to do as far as not, just slowing down your rhythm a little bit?
Oh, for sure. They're good at that. I mean, they make you, they work you into the shot clock because and they take you out of a lot of structure. And you're right. I mean, the not having timeouts at the end of the game was big. I think I wish we had a little bit more. And actually, the one time on the 10-second call, we didn't call timeout. And Doug just thought we did, and that's fine. I mean, it wasn't, it saved us a turnover, and you can look back and think that was important, but it probably wasn't. I mean, it saved us a turnover. But yeah, you're right. It felt like we had more than 13 turnovers. I think that's probably to your point, is like because it was disruptive. 13 turnovers maybe, doesn't indicate how disruptive their pressure was.
Or is this foul trouble a factor?
Yeah, I think it was a big factor. I just never felt like she really got into the game the way we need her to get into the game against that good of a team. I just felt like she was, never got comfortable. I mean, she hit, we ran the one out of bounds play for her late, and she missed the rim on the three, and Lex got the fall. But she didn't play with the kind of confidence that we needed her to play with, and I'm sure the foul trouble had a lot to do with that. I mean, her second foul, she's got to, she's dead behind the post and reached, she's got to understand that she can't do that with one quick foul to get a second one. And I played her with three in the first half, thinking that the game was, I like to keep the game close, and I thought maybe she'd that would help her get going a little bit. But definitely the foul trouble hurt her, but also just she's got to be, for as much as she's played, she's got to make better decisions with regard to that.
I guess from your standpoint, how frustrating was it to keep making runs in the second half and then having them counter?
Yeah, that's how they play. I mean, I thought the three that Jenkins hit when I don't know if we'd cut it to 3 or 4, and she hit the deep three, and she, I thought that was big. I mean, you're going to talk about Horenko, but Jenkins has 11 points, 5 of 9, 7 assists, no turnovers. I mean, she's pretty good too. And yeah, they're just a really good offensive team, and you're going to have to you're going to have to score to beat them. And but they did. They answered, with the exception of missing that last free throw to kind of give us a chance. They really answered everything that we had.
I think Jade was really assertive and kind of attacking the pressure with a purpose in the second half. What did you think of
Yeah.
her late game playing out?
Yeah, I thought late she was really good, and even early. I mean, she got backpedaling in their press a couple times where we had to use the timeouts, and but part of that's a function of her size, and that we had kids kind of running away from her. Where we talked about how far we needed to be from her, and so it wasn't all her fault. But I thought she really competed and played, and the plays just made good decisions. I mean, I said she had the one turnover on a charge, but I think it was still the right play. I think she made a lot of really good plays, and she was patient on those ball screens with Lex and Bree, and just waited till something came open and didn't force. And that's exciting, for me to see her development over the last 4 or 5 weeks.
Two more questions.
It's with Marquette is obviously not in the same place in the standings as DePaul. I guess how do you avoid
Sure.
a letdown from this loss becoming 2?
Yeah. Well, Sunday will be senior day is always emotional, and last year we lost our senior day for the first time in a long time. So we'll hopefully, that'll. And I have a hard time even knowing how to approach that, because you don't want to overdo it. You don't want to over dramatize senior day, because then you want to play with emotion, but not too much emotion. So that'll be a big factor too. And you know, Marquette's won 4 of their last 6. I mean, they're a little similar to us in that they're a younger team, and it took them a couple wins to kind of get some confidence. And I think now that they've won a little, they're playing better because they kind of have a little bit different belief in themselves. And so, you know, and when we beat them up there, they're you know, their second leading scorer didn't play that particular game, so we know it'll be, you know, we'll be seeing a little bit different team than what we saw up there. So, you know, you hope that your team's mature enough to get over this and get ready. This is the way it is, and you know, in some ways, that's what I like about the league is you get to, you know, you don't if you lose that Friday game, you don't have to wait long to get right back on, and you know, I mean, to me, especially if you're the home team, there's no reason not to be ready. I mean, the other team has had to travel, and in this case, from Providence, so there's no reason that we shouldn't be more rested and ready to go and motivated.
Last question.
Thanks, guys.
Thank you.